and it's not running. And I'm like, what? Hi, Zandrian. How are you? When I logged on to start my live, that was the video that was meeting me, was your video. So hello, how are you? Clearing my throat. Yeah, there. It's sent out to everybody. Hello. Hi, how are you? I don't remember. I was trying to get in and not get distracted. So I just saw you and I was like, no, profile plus hit the plus sign, because I get distracted. I get distracted. It's true. I admit it. I was like, yeah, I'll watch the video, and then then it would end up just be, another video or something. And yeah, I have to be very careful with my social media usage. And that's because you would know this, right? As being someone who is working in, content creation is a big part. So I'm working with social media all the time. And because of that, I'm on social media quite frequently to post. And it is a challenge to get in, post, get out, and not be sucked into the vortex. And then next thing you know, you're 20 minutes later ending your scrolling. So I'm trying to do those things, be a little more conscious with my usage. And I think we all should be, right? You should be conscious with whatever you're doing. It's about presence in the moment. And that's what we need to be doing. Why do you need more content? Tell me. I'd love to hear. Because sometimes that can come from thinking that that we have to do certain things in order to get, like, whether it's like feedback or whatever. But I bet you that the content that you do have is absolutely genuine content. It's authentic, right? And that's going to be way better than posting just to post, right? And you have to be careful that you don't get yourself into that almost where it's transactional, where you're, because I've done this, where it's, I remember at one point I was kind of, if I give and give and give and give and give, then eventually someone's going to give to me. Or if, you think what you're pushing out there in those ways, that it'll be reciprocated. But the problem is if you're in the give, you're not in the receive space, because they're occupying two different currencies or two different energetic frequencies. So you have to actually step back and open yourself to receive. And that means you can't be constantly in a state of giving. And it's the same thing if we think that we have to produce a certain amount. I got into that where I was posting all the time. I used to do 15 hours worth of lives per week. Recently, I went through a phase where, because I was moving across the country, I had a pause in the content and the lives that I was doing. So when I moved here and got established, I went through a period where I had heightened posting. So I was trying to just post a lot. I started doing 5-day-a-week lives, just to get that back out there, that I'm back to working. And I did about a month of that. And then I went right down to 2 days a week. So if you can put a schedule in place for yourself, Andrea, then do that, because then maybe that will help you to commit to 1 live per week, just 1. Right. And that might help. But I just wanted to check in, because sometimes it gets tied up in those things, right? That, where I think if I give, I'm going to receive, but you have to actually just receive to receive. And so that could be something to look in. Yeah. Hello, Magic Marker. How are you? Thank you for the like. Thank you for the like. Right. You can't be doing it for the likes. You can't be doing it for, even though I will say delinquency here. No one has been tapping on here, or at least if they have, it's not showing me. I just saw 30 now. So it's not, you have to look at the reasons why you're doing it. And we're meant to show up in alignment and create from the space of joy and then release it without those expectations, or without being tied up in, if I just produce enough, someone's going to catch, someone's going to like it, someone's going to see it, someone's going to, like it's going to convert. If I, right. So you have, anyway, that's a course I was just teaching, was on the Krystic Wealth activation series, which finishes tonight, the live version of it. It will be available as a purchase in the shop. Probably tomorrow at some point. I'll get that put up in the system. And so you don't have to worry if you missed the live walkthrough of it, but yeah, you can check that out. So because I've been talking about that, it's made me remind myself of all the little things that I used to do, right? When I first did my healing, I used to think that I could heal everybody, I could help everybody, I could help my family. And then I realized it wasn't my job. Right? It's the same thing with, if I just give enough, someone will give in return. And the problem with that is it puts you in the wrong stream. So I was revisiting all of these things and I was thinking, wow, I actually created this course for me, just to remind myself of all the things that I shouldn't be doing, or the things that I've overcome and where I am now. So today we're going to be talking about Christ consciousness, and we're going to be talking about the Krystic Pathway. The Krystic word, which I spell Krystic, because that's how it's supposed to be spelled. But that Krystic word does not relate to religion. It relates to the divine organic truth. That's what Krystic means, divine organic truth outside of religion. And so I just wanted to clarify that. So Christ consciousness and the Krystic Pathway is what I'm going to talk about, which exists for embodiment, integration, and living the truth. Not belief, not performance, not spiritual identity. It's not about these things. Hello, guys. Hello, Luke. Right? So we are going to anchor Christ consciousness today, all of us that are involved in this live or who are watching the replay when it's available. But we're going to anchor Christ consciousness as a lived state of coherence, where truth is held safely in the body and expressed through right action. So let's take a slow breath in and out. Just feel into your body. Let the nervous system settle. So all we're doing is just settling in. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about the sky, because the energy of the sky, and we are meant to live in harmony with Mother Gaia. We are meant to live in harmony with all the planets and the celestial bodies. So we're going to talk about that just briefly. We are in the waning lunar cycle following the full moon on January 3rd, approaching a new moon on January 18th. That new moon will be the second new moon back to back in Sagittarius because of the size of the constellation of Sagittarius. And I am also talking about true sidereal. At the moment that it calls it a new moon, Sagittarius is still the sign that the moon's in. It's very late stage. So that's just clarifying that. I consult the living sky. I use applications that are about the living sky. The Stellaria map is a good one. If you have a computer, I'm sure you could do it on your phone as well. But if you go on a web page, you can go to the Sky Live, and it's just the Sky Live with where exactly the planets and everything are. And that's what I work with, the living truth of the sky. Today, Saturn entered Pisces like really early this morning at 3:03 my time. And this is a very big collective shift from spiritual seeking into spiritual responsibility. Illusions are dissolving. Fantasy is losing momentum. What remains must be lived. So Saturn is the planet of responsibility and law, and it's a very strong energy. And Pisces has been called wishy-washy before, at least in mainstream astrology. And while I'm not going to go into like that kind of distortion, Pisces is a water sign, and Pisces is very fluid. It's very spiritual, dreamy. It's beautiful energy. But if we lose ourselves in the energy of Pisces, then we can, forget the fact that we are spirits inhabiting, like we're spirits with a temple, right? It gets into that escapism kind of thing about like escaping the body. Saturn doesn't allow for that. Saturn's asking for us to be responsible with our spirituality. So what does your spirituality mean to you? And what are you doing on a daily basis to honor your spirituality, to live as such? So let's talk about Christ consciousness, because it doesn't allow you, when we're following it correctly, we're not bypassing reality, we're stabilizing it. Hello. Hello. All right. Just saying hello. Hello, spiritual wander. And hello, Karen. How are you? I have to stop and say hi every now and then, because sometimes I don't stop talking, because if I do, I'll lose my train of thought. But I want people to know that I do see you. I see you. I see you. Into me, I see. Because that's how it's supposed to be. Into you, I see. That'd be weird. It would be a little weird. All right. Christ consciousness is not an identity. It is not a belief. It is not a moral position. Okay. It is a state of coherence. And coherence means that truth is not only understood intellectually. And I talk about this in a variety of different ways. I lived incongruently for many, many years because there were lots of things that I was very aware of the truth in, but didn't live that truth in my life, in my practice. Case in point, I was a nurse for over 20 years, worked in Emerge. Doesn't matter what my credentials on that were, but I worked as a nurse for over 20 years, and yet I smoked. And I remember people at the hospital, the patients would do that all the time when they would see nurses smoking. Like, you should know better. You're a nurse. You're supposed to be an example of health. And yet here we go outside having a smoke. That's an incongruence. That's incoherence. That's where you know the truth, but you're refusing to actually do it in practice, right? So that puts you out of alignment with yourself. When we are holding truth in the body, it has the way that we get to the point where we can hold it safely is through our nervous system, right? Our nervous system the truth. There we go. The other way. I was like, wait a second, I'm doing this backwards. I'm saying it in opposition. The truth is regulated through the nervous system. And it's expressed through living action. Like you have to take action on it. Hi, Nicole. I'm good. I will be doing lives Tuesdays and Thursdays at this time going forward until there's a change. So keep showing up. And if you're watching, can you please tap the screen to put likes there, because that's what the algorithm is asking for. Hi, John. All right. So coherence means that truth is not only understood intellectually, but your nervous system is able to regulate and hold it safely in the body. And you express it through through living it without fracture. Right. So I see a lot of people where they're doing well. I'm going to start a diet. And then how long does that go before that stops, right? That's that fracture where you're not living the truth anymore and it's allowed to be fractured. And that can be because your nervous system isn't ready to hold that energy or hold that truth. So I'll explain this in a really good way. If I am the diet, we'll talk about the diet. So I know what I put in my mouth, and I know the amount that I exercise. I know how much I move my body. I know when I'm not moving it a lot. I know when I'm eating poorly. I know when I'm eating stuff that's not aligned with me, that's not aligned with anybody, because it's just processed garbage. I know those things. So if I start a diet and I start exercising and I know these things, I know that, I know that I'm eating incorrectly. I know I'm not moving enough. I know I need to do these things. And by diet, I mean, I'm just trying to eat healthy. Well, if I haven't addressed my core issues or released energy or emotions around traumas that I've experienced, inside me, I might be holding on to, I'm not good enough. I might be holding on to sexual traumas, which make me feel like I need to protect myself. So I wear a barrier around myself. Only my barrier isn't a picket fence and it isn't electric or anything like that. My barrier is just the chubbiness on my body. If I don't address that underlying trauma or my underlying belief systems, then I'm going to keep fracturing is what that is. I'm going to, instead of walking the path I know to be true and aligned with me, I'm going to go back to the way that it was. I'm going to return to the comfort zone. Our ego is very happy in the comfort zone. Our ego is very happy reliving the past over and over and over again. It's safe there, right? It knows that space. So when we are experiencing things, and this is going to go into like there's a bunch of us here that our purpose or the reason why you're drawn to me is because you feel that there's something that you are bringing to the world, that we're creating a new earth, and you're just like, why can't people wake up? Why can't they wake up? Why don't they see what I see? Why don't they see the matrix for what it is? Why don't they see that they're being played and manipulated? Why can't they see that there is no left or right, that there is no choice, that it's all an illusion? Why can't they see the charade? Their nervous system can't handle the truth. And they can't. If they were receive, if someone came and just pulled open curtains and said, this is the whole truth, nothing but the truth of the society that we live in, and this is the spell that you've been under, they would lose their mind. It would fracture them. They wouldn't be able to handle it. Their nervous system would collapse under the weight of the information that is so opposing. That's that beautiful thing, cognitive dissonance. So when the truth happens and comes in faster, that's when fragmentation happens. So this is where we feel spiritually overwhelmed, or we feel disassociated. We may even have some urgency that's there, or even a false certainty that rises, right? Hi, Dear Bear. I don't know if you stuck around, but hey. It's very warm in the house here, even though it's very windy outside, which is very nice, which is very, very nice. I'm going to actually move this one here because I like that. Right? I'm just a funny gal there, spiritual wanderer. I'm just a funny duck. So these are not signs of awakening. These are signs that embodiment has been skipped, right? When we're seeing those fractures, or we're feeling urgent, or, we're just overwhelmed, or we're still checking out, that means that we haven't embodied the actual truth. We've acknowledged it in the brain, our thoughts maybe are aware of the information. We understand that, but we're not living it. So Christ consciousness moves at the speed of integration. Okay. It does not rush the nervous system. It does not demand performance, and it does not require proving. Oh. Sorry, I was seeing my notes on Saturn entering Pisces, and it threw me off for a minute because I was like, why did I add it there? Because it made sense. Because it made sense to remind myself to talk about how Saturn entering into Pisces, this is making that really clear, right? I was talking earlier with Saturn moving into Pisces, how this makes us be spiritually responsible. And that's what we're getting from that, is that Saturn is removing whatever is not sustainable, and Pisces is dissolving what is illusory. So together they're asking, what spiritually can withstand reality? Okay. So this transit reveals where truth is still aspirational rather than lived. It shows where sensitivity has been mistaken for wisdom, or where compassion has been disconnected from boundaries. Okay. What did I used to say, Zandrian? I used to say, feel the emotions, don't be the emotions, right? And many of us decide to be them. We decide to experience, they become everything about us. How many of us run around with an identity of, I'm an angry person, right? And you're just like calling it out. You're just owning it. You're just saying that's just who you are. So guess what emotions you get to experience? Anger. Because you just declared that your identity, right? And we do that all the time with language, trapping ourselves and locking ourselves in. I always ... I never ... This always happens this way, right? When we're saying that, we are creating the box that we are stuck in, right? We're literally reaffirming it over and over and over again. This is my reality. This is my reality. My reality is whatever it is that you're repeating. So Christ consciousness is present when truth can remain steady. Oh, I love you, sweetheart. Is when your system, the truth can remain steady under pressure, when the body does not collapse in the presence of clarity, and when love does not require self-abandonment. We are meant to start here and within, right? The kingdom to heaven is within. So we are meant to start here and then outward. So if I don't love myself, that doesn't mean that you can't love somebody. It's just that you're only going to love to the depth in which you're loving yourself, because it's mirrors, and those are what relationships are. And they're our greatest teachers. Hi, Leslie. So that's the maturation. That's the maturing of the spiritual path. Okay. It's not this like just light, right? It's about capacity. How can I create capacity in my body to handle more? Right? How can I do that? Well, you have to sit with yourself, right? I've been doing a lot of that lately. All right, so we're going to talk about the Krystic Pathway of responsibility. And that is not ascension at a form, right? We are meant to marry heaven to earth by remembering our truth and living our alignment, right? Living in our aligned state. It's really living as your oversoul, or living as your higher self. Your higher self planned this all out. This is what you're going to do, and this is what I think what we're to accomplish, or whatever. Your plan and your path. When you're doing that, when you're walking that, that's the Krystic Pathway. You're walking in alignment with yourself. It's not about ascending out of the body, and it's not about, I'm going to go through all these levels, 5D, 7D, 12D, 21D. I'm just kidding. But we're not elevating through those dimensions to escape the body. What we're meant to do is, in our divine organic blueprint, when we're aligned with that is a powerful energy to bring to this earth, because it's resonating everywhere you are. That plant feels it, that's standing near me, how resonant I am, that one does. If you're around somebody that has a very poor outlook, right? Like, there's a lot of people with some negativities that plants wouldn't even be able to live around you, right? Like, they just wouldn't be able to live in that environment. And we've seen that, where people, just things kind of just start to wilt away when someone's around them, because their energy isn't, they're not in alignment. They're carrying a lot of bad energy with them. And not to be like judge or polar or any of that stuff. So the path that we're walking is incarnation with integrity. It's not asking you how high you can rise, but how deeply truth can land in daily life, in relationships, in work, and in the nervous system. So how can we make it form, matter? It has to land. It has to be embodied. It has to be grounded. It has to be brought to earth, right? So it's living the truth is how the truth becomes established in form on earth. Responsibility on the Krystic path is not burden, okay? It's coherence made practical. Coherence made practical. I want to make sure I wasn't missing a comment there. So Saturn in Pisces is exposing where responsibility has been avoided through spirituality. And we do that. We bypass things. I see it all the time in community where people are bypassing and they're not living the truth. It's, I don't know. It's like the newest fad, right? I'm just gonna do it. But it's not real. It's not lived. So we've also, with this Saturn in Pisces, going to experience boundaries, where boundaries were replaced with compassion, right? So our boundaries got really lax and we were allowing people maybe to take advantage of us, or maybe we were giving outwardly too much, right? Where, maybe we had a boundary in place and then someone crossed that boundary and we were too compassionate. And, instead of saying, well, you crossed my boundary, so you need to move back in the space that you are within my life, and the space you occupy in my life has to become further out. So we also, where discernment was softened into permissiveness, right? So where we were being very discerning and then all of a sudden now we're just kind of letting things go a bit too much. And where devotion became self-sacrifice. And how many of us have done that, right? How many times have you sacrificed yourself? Right? Some of us aren't even living the lives that we want to live because we sacrificed ourselves so much. We got into jobs that our parents wanted us to do, or we're working jobs that society says we should, or we're living the way that, that the mainstream is showing that you should live, and that's out of alignment with you. So you're sacrificing yourself rather than just living the truth or staying in your truth, right? And it's hard. It's hard when people are coming at you, right? When people are attacking you for having, say, a different pathway, living a different way. So the Krystic Pathway restores sacred responsibility by reuniting love and structure, compassion and boundaries, and sensitivity and discernment. Because nowhere, when we are embodying Christ consciousness or walking the Krystic path, nowhere in anything that I'm going to share or anyone should be sharing is there the concept that you shouldn't be experiencing your emotions, or that you shouldn't be validating the actual truth that you are living, right? We are not bypassing things. We are not escaping things. Nobody's asking you to turn off your emotions, to become callous, to become cold, to detach, to kill your ego. None of that. That's not what we do in this pathway. So this path is asking you, where am I still hoping truth will save me, instead of asking me to change? Because that's the one thing that people push against the most: change. A friend shared a story with me, and it's a story that's very similar because I see it all the time. I see so many people that look for every excuse they can to remain where they are. When I did my trauma work, I've been through a lot of different experiences. I've been homeless before. I have lived in significant poverty, where it was just literally by the blessings of people around me helping me out that saved me from being homeless. I've had a lot of different experiences, and I could blame all of them. I could use them all as excuses. I could hide behind them. I could still sit with my trauma and be, well, this happened to me when I was little, so, people should be nicer to me, or these things happened to me, so or whatever. I could be stuck in that patterning. There are so many things for free that can help you be healthy. I'm healthy now, not because I have millions of dollars, because I don't. I'm healthy right now because I make time for my health. I make it a priority and I do things that are free. I don't have a gym membership. I don't have all these big things that, like I don't have tons and tons and tons of money that I can go and spend on those things. But I have free breath. I have free outside. It's free right now, so I should, like I can use that, right? I can freely move my body. And yes, some people can't. They can't freely move their body because of disabilities. They maybe feel pain moving their body and should probably move more. People have things. Absolutely, you have things, but you can still breathe. You can journal. You can do some inner work. You can reflect on things. You can let go of things. You can experience your emotions and release them. They're free. But I find that a lot of people just get upset with that because they want people to pacify them or pander them or just allow them to stay in that space. So much so that people look for that quick fix, right? It's like, nah, I don't want to work out. I don't want to do diet. Yeah, I just want to be skinnier. So, I could go get plastic surgery. Well, I could get bariatric surgery. I could, get my tummy tucked. I could get my stomach stapled. I could do all of these things, right? Zentangle, exactly. Zentangle is amazing, right? I love them. I love them. I love them all, like the books and stuff. There's so many things that are inexpensive, free, or cheap. And if you've got a phone, you have a whole device full of stuff that's free. I have a free group. There's stuff that's out there for free. The thing is that you see people that are like, no, I just want a pill. I just want somebody to fix it like that. I just want to go get a surgery and be done with it. Because they don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to do the work. So I hope that you're not that person. I hope you're the person that says, I'm willing to look at the truth. And if that truth means I have to change something, well, then I'm going to change it because it's for me, for the betterment of me, for my life to be lived in alignment, for my health, for my well-being, for the well-being of Mother Gaia, because we are all one. Where does my life not yet reflect what I claim to value? So this is getting in alignment. Hi, Lindsay. I have my comments on this screen so I can see everything. And I got stuff everywhere, but I moved my thing just over so I could see the comments on the bigger screen. They're like giant now. It made it so much nicer. How are you doing, Lindsay? It's nice to see you, sweetheart. And I still have this habit of looking at the comments when I'm talking to somebody because I don't have the eyes that I can look into. So when somebody comes on here and they talk to me, I look at their comments. Same thing over here. All righty. So the Krystic Path restores sacred responsibility. It also asks us these questions. The question I just asked is, where does my life not yet reflect what I claim to value? I like it. You wouldn't take their money? Why not? Why wouldn't you take their money? Yes. It's hard to and you don't have to be what somebody else is. That's not what we're meant to be doing, right? We're meant to remain in our truth and in our integrity, and regardless of what's going on out there, to stabilize in our nervous system. I'm doing fantastic. This is like, I said I should be studying miracles because my life is beautiful and I'm so blessed, and I absolutely love my life, and it has absolutely zero to do with money, because money is the one thing that it's just, it is what it is, right? Oh, nice. Nice. That's going to be awesome. Enjoy, enjoy. Enjoy. Oh gosh, I hope you have fun in Ohio. I mean, I hope you have fun wherever you are. Yeah, I got my nonprofit, Hugs for Homeless. I started that it was started in August by my partner, and then my partner connected with me. We talked 222 on the timer. We talked about me helping, and I said the only way I'm going to help is if I'm an even partner, because helping the homeless was always an initiative that I wanted to start. And my partner and I, who were in a relationship together, we're just like, now we're friends and partners in a business, but that chapter's closed. But anyway, through that, we talked about this for a lot of years, about starting Hugs for Homeless and putting backpacks together and distributing them into community to get some much needed supplies out to the homeless. And we've been doing that. And I actually have 10 bags right now that I need to get out into community. And hopefully I get in contact with them tomorrow to set up a time to drop off these 10 bags. But we're always looking for donations and things like that. But that when I chose to take that step, which was in alignment with me, and it actually made me put my money where my mouth was, because instead of going around saying I'm going to do something for the homeless, I actually had an opportunity to step up to the plate, and I took it. So then I'm in integrity. So I get to be in integrity. No. 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 That's no. Haven't seen or spoken to that person in well over a year now, and good riddance on that. So definitely nope. That's nice, Karen. Makes sense. Hey, chickadee. So once I made that decision, everything just kind of lined up like perfectly. So I looked out here. I found a beautiful place. It's in Alberta. It's on 40 acres. It's absolutely perfect. It's a sanctuary, and like it is posted, and you can't do anything on the property. So it is a sanctuary. But I say it's a sanctuary because of how it feels to me. I absolutely feel so blessed and love where my life got to. And again, nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with money. So, where does your life not yet reflect what you claim to value? Okay. And this could be calling yourself out on things like, if you say, and some friends that know me, they're going to be like, hey, we have that conversation. So this is a conversation. I asked a friend who is Buddhist, and when I was asking him, I'm like, well, how do you live that? Like, what do you do? Like, how are you living the Buddhic way? And there were lots of ways that he, in fact, wasn't, that he acknowledged, right? And so this is what we're talking about with that values. If that is something that you say you align with and you believe in, then why are you not walking it, right? So that's the questions that Saturn Pisces connection is going to ask us. And then what structures must evolve so truth can be lived consistently? And that's not occasionally. Okay, consistently is not occasionally. They're not the same. You could have some things that you have to do monthly, right? Maybe you have a ritual that you have to do monthly. You maybe have some things that you can get away with just doing weekly, right? Maybe you wash your floors every week, or you're washing your sheets every week. But there are a lot of things that you have to do consistently, day after day after day, right? Oh, my sanctuary is so, so, so important. So are you living it consistently? It's not about perfection. That's the other thing. Consistently did not say always. It did not say every moment of every day. It said consistently. And that's what we're aiming for, right? We want to be living these things in a consistent way, not sporadically, not occasionally, none of that. Okay. So responsibility here is liberating. It removes confusion. It ends the cycle of seeking and bypassing, and it brings peace because energy is no longer leaking through misalignment. You get your energy back, right? You're not looshing it everywhere. That's why I work with the true living sky and true sidereal and Krystic astrology, because I'm not going to be doing a moon ritual for a moon in a sign that's not real. That was frozen 2,000 years ago. What I'm going to do is consult the living sky as it is and work with it as it is right now. Hi, Denise is late. Hello, hello. So on the Krystic path, devotion is expressed through care, honesty, and consistency. Care, honesty, consistency. Truth becomes something you live quietly, not something you announce. You don't have to go around all the time. I'm better than you because I'm living this way. I have to be careful with that. I do. But because I'm teaching it, I'm talking about it. But I do have to be careful that I'm not saying it in a way that, it comes across like, I'm so much better than you because of the way that I'm doing it. Everybody is on their path. Everybody is on their journey, and everybody is at their spot on it. I was at one point not where I am now. And, like I used to drink, I used to eat really bad foods all the time. I used to be pretty lazy. My house used to be dirty or at least untidy. I used to complain a lot and gossip a lot and criticize and compare. And I did all these things. I used to hit myself. I did lots of things. And that was the healing and the evolving and the waking up and the aligning with the truth and then living the truth. So I don't speak from a space of I am you. I've been through it, right? I've experienced a lot of traumas and worked through them and healed from them. And that's why I'm here. Not because I'm special, not because I'm someone different from you. Everything that I did, you can do too. And that's what I usually talk about too, is I lived this, I did this. I'm not teaching you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. I don't tell you to go do breath work, but I refuse to do it. I get up every morning and I meditate and I do breath work with my meditation. And then I do yoga. And these are habits that I established recently because I need to have these things structured. There's an embodiment. Hi, Sha'Ryah. Jesus had a path. Jesus did it things happen for a reason. Jesus allowed himself to be led to a cross so that he could resurrect himself. Right? Because he had to show that was a way. Hi, Piotr. Yeah, but he knew that was his mission, right? That was his mission. That was a decision that he made. So you don't have to. Thanks, Peter. So on the Krystic path, that's expressed through those ways. And this is the work that Pisces and Saturn is supporting. It's supporting spirituality that can function in real life, not just in altered states or peak moments. If everything that in order for you to become spiritual, if every time in order for you to do a spiritual practice, you got to take a journey with mushrooms or you got to go, smoke a bowl, I know it sounds so bad when it says it that way, but when you got to go have some weed or you're going to have some marijuana, go get your cannabis, right? If you need to be under some sort of altered state, there we go, that's the word I was looking for, some sort of altered state for there to be like spirituality, then that's or peak moments even. I mean, yay, it's great right now, so I'm going to do this, but then as soon as things start to get a little bit, just stop doing it, right? You want it to be consistent. And it's even when I have several things. I have all these little things that I do, and you can do them too. And you can set yourself up with them the same way that I have. So my little thing is if I'm meditating in the morning and my brain's like going, blah, 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 my ego's blah, 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 or whatever, it's just noisy. I make myself meditate longer because I need it more. When the brain is noisy, I need to meditate more. I need the silence more. And that's what we need to realize. When we're going through it, we should be turning inward and going to our spiritual practices more. But what ends up happening is we tend to abandon them in those moments and go back to the old patterns. And that's when we fragment again. All right, we're going to do an embodiment practice because you know me. I don't ever let you away without having some sort of an embodiment practice. But I'm going to have, remember to check out the Temple of Light group, Lindsay. There's so much posted in there. And I just did tonight is the last night. I did a Krystic Wealth activation series. It's such a good series, but it will be available for a purchase, like a downloadable purchase. You get the videos, you get the workbook, you get the audios and all of that. So there's that, or you could sign up and take the last live class. That's tonight at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, which would be 8 p.m. your time. If you're still as far over there as you were before. So you could join live tonight for the final class, but you'd get access to all the rest of the stuff, but it might be better to just wait and catch it as a replay and just purchase it as like that. But it's helping, a lot of us are doing the right thing. We're showing up. We're aligned. We are walking, and we're doing the thing that we're meant to do, like me and my company, right? As an example. But the finances aren't flowing in a way that is reciprocated of the energy that you're putting out there or the creations that you're making. Maybe it's still really slow, or it's sputtering, or it's like, come and go kind of thing. And if you're experiencing that, then this is the class that would be great for you. There is a free quiz on my website that you can take to see what your wealth archetype is. And you get a free gift for that. So you can go and check that out on the website. I love it. Oh, yes. But yes. One of these days you'll set up a free call with me and we'll just talk. Right? Because that's free. Still talking at the comments. Okay, let's do this embodiment practice. All right, so we're going to, I'm trying to think if I want to walk you through it first and then, oh, no, we'll do it. Okay, so this time we're going to take our hands and we're actually just going to put them both on our lower belly. Okay, so it's called your sacral chakra. It's also your hara or womb space if you're a woman, hara male, if you can make a baby or not. So just put your hands on your lower abdomen. Okay, and I just want you to focus on the lower part of your body and then your spine. Okay, so just focus on that. Bring your awareness down into your lower body and your spine. You're going to allow your breath to deepen and to slow down. Just going to inhale nice and slow through the nose, down in, and we're going to push those hands out because we're going to get it into the tummy, right? We're going to make our tummy expand. So nice breath in. And then out through your lips like you're blowing out candles, nice and slow. Take another nice deep breath like that, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Still focusing with your awareness on your spine and your lower body. Allow your mind to quiet. Now I'm going to ask you to ask yourself a question inside your mind quietly. What truth am I ready to live, not just understand? What truth am I ready to live, not just understand? Let your body answer before the mind responds. What truth am I ready to live, not just understand? When you're ready, I like it. Truth is itself. All right. So you can come back whenever you're ready. I just stepped forward. It was pretty bright back here. So Christ consciousness is not loud, it's stable. And this week is not about doing more. It's about living what is already known. Next Thursday, we are going to continue to explore the Krystic Path through embodiment, order, and lived devotion. Okay. And we live this path consciously. How much of your time do you spend in presence? I have a heater for mine. I just set my teacup on my little heater so that it stays warm for me. Although the other day I did forget to turn it on. Sometimes I do that. I forget to turn it on. So what do you feel about everything that we talked about today? Did you like it? I had to do that for a long time with my tea. I really, really strongly suggest if when and if you have a little bit of money, like I bought this little, hot plate to put my cup on, and it sits in my office, and it has 3 different temperature settings. So I can keep my tea at the right temperature, so they don't go to waste. All moments count. They absolutely do. Being present, making your tea in the morning, if you're paying attention to the cup, and you can do everything and make it sacred and make it beautiful. And being present in the moment and actually having your awareness there is so much more respectful. It's so much more beautiful for relationships. Like the people that are around you, they know when you're being present and when you're not, right? So your relationships are rewarded through that. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, see, it's perfect. It saves me all kinds of tea. It saves me all kinds of dissatisfaction drinking cold tea, because I'd be the same as Lindsay there. I'd drink it anyway. I wouldn't throw it out. So yeah, definitely get the little heater. It's perfect. So later this month, I'm going to be doing a little class. It's $33. It's going to be like a few hours. I don't know exactly how long, less than 3 hours, or I should say between, I don't know. I'm doing a class. I'm doing a class. This one's on your nervous system and nervous system capacity and the ability to hold money. Something like that. That's not the title. I'm just working on it, but it will be on January 27th. I got the date set. January 27th at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. But yeah, the title is still in the works and it's not on my website yet, but I will keep talking about it as we move forward. And then in February on the 22nd, I'll be doing Bridge to Light Phase 2. And in March, Krystic Astrology, the Krystic Astrology course. So the following month will be that course. Yes, that's beautiful, Suki. That's beautiful. Yep. Meditation, so perfect. I have to remind myself, like, because it's not about perfection, right? It's what I was saying before, is it's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Well, now that the light's over there, I have to move my comment page back to the other side so that I can see it, because I was really having some problems seeing in the light. I'm gonna move forward a little bit more. Just getting close, guys. It's okay. Yeah, I'm trying to hit a spot where I can see. Why do you have so many things to do for others? Why are you not the first priority, Lindsay? Hi, spiritual water. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming and hanging out. What I find is a real help is, one, you have to find the things that align to you, right? Because not all meditation is sitting cross-legged going, right? Not all exercise is lifting heavy weights and pumping iron, right? You just have to find what aligns with you in that. Second is the timing, right? It used to it bugged me for years because it was one of those things where, well, if I work out in the morning before I go to work, then I have to have a shower before I go to work and dry my hair and so that's going to be that much time. But if I do it after work, then I've got the whole rest of the evening to get everything done, right? So I used to work out after work because it worked for me. But other people would rather work out in the morning. They'd rather get up first thing in the morning, work out, shower, go to work. I've got a lot of hair and I don't like to dry it with a hair dryer. So me doing something in the morning and letting my hair dry the way I want it doesn't help, right? Right? Hi, Galactic. So where is it? I was like, I'll move in a little bit. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Yeah. Yeah. Everything is from you outward, just like it's from me outward, right? My reality begins with me and spans outward. That's my universe. Oh, I got to do my puzzle. Hang on. Make sure we put this puzzle piece in there. Okay, perfect. But so finding the thing that aligns with you and then putting it at a time that works for you. So for me, it works that when I get up in the morning, I meditate right away, but that might not be a time that works for you. I like it because if I do my meditation and work out first thing in the morning, there's less opportunity for me not to do it. And that's why a lot of people do it that way. Well, now because I don't work out of the house, and now because when I do actually have to go live, it's later in the day. And when I put my education sessions in, I typically put them later in the day. So I'm going to do my other puzzle on my other live. So it works for me now because I have a lot more time in the morning in which I can be, doing things. There's not that rush. So I can actually let my hair dry the way I like to let it dry. So I could change it around differently, right? But you have no life without yourself. That's why yourself is supposed to be the center point. You're the flame. Yeah, you need to call me. I can help you untangle that, Lindsay. Absolutely. And I'll even help you with that for free. Just that little one, though. Just that one particular, untangle you from that. Right? Nice nap, hey? Yeah, definitely. Sign up for a call and we'll talk, okay? All right, so Tuesday, pretty sure that's when I'll be back. I gotta check my calendar here. There's a slight possibility that I will do a surprise live on Sunday. But otherwise, I will be back on Tuesday. And Tuesday is when we do the true sidereal Krystic astrology. So we're looking at the living sky as it is and working with it. Okay. All right. And then on Thursday, we get back to Christ consciousness, the Krystic Pathway, embodiment, the living truth, all of that. So that'll be on Thursday next week. So that's the way that the episodes will go. And I will occasionally have a surprise live at different times. If you are in a position to donate and are looking to support a cause, we are always looking for donations at Hugs for Homeless and would love your support. If you are looking to volunteer and you are in the Edmonton or surrounding areas and would like to do more in-person volunteering, connect with us at info@hugsforhomeless.com. If you are looking to do volunteer and would love to support the cause but don't live locally, you can always sign up to, say, do research grants and stuff like that. Like, there's other stuff that I can use help with that don't require an actual in-person presence. So if you're all looking to volunteer in Hugs for Homeless, which is essentially collecting donations, building backpacks, and getting those backpacks out into the community, filled with essentials, that's where you can access those. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But I'm not looking at it from the traditional astrology. So when I talk about the living sky, I mean, if the sun is sitting in Sagittarius right now, then the sun is in Sagittarius. I'm not going to say the sun's in Capricorn because 2,000 years ago they froze froze everything and removed Ophiuchus from it. I work with what the living sky says because that's just what aligns with me. It just makes sense to work with it as it is. Even if it is light from a long time ago. Yes. I don't know though. I don't know if that's, if that's something that she needs to wait until she gets back, because she's still not putting herself, or wait until she gets to Ohio, because that's still not putting yourself first. It's 30 minutes of your day. Can you find 30 minutes to give away if that could untangle a bunch of stuff for you? I think you could. All right, guys, I'm going to head off. I'm going to go enjoy some of that beautiful sunshine. Plus, I have a class at 5, which is 2 hours away. So I want to go and walk my pupper and all of that stuff before before that class at 5. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. I love you. And if Earth's core is like a sun, then I'll be walking on the star. The Earth's core is not like a sun, though. And it's a I'll talk about that on another. I'll talk about what my knowledge is around that stuff on another live. I love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and check out the website. Go join the free group at the very least, right? Because it's free. All right. Love you guys. If it's going to let me leave. All right. You guys get to hear the ending of it. Mwah. Love you. Bye, sweetie.